Hello and welcome to the 133rd episode of the Gochuucast. It's a funky number. Um,
Ooh, a funny number.
PK said he had something to lead off with this week, so it's all yours. Congratulations.
You just made fun of me for saying that I was gonna derail immediately, and it gave me the
But
perfect
it's much
opportunity.
easier to throw
So
it to someone else.
that's true. So I have. I don't know if I talked about this last week. Probably not. Did I have it last week? Black Friday happened, which means opportunities to spend money, right? As we've talked
Yep.
about several times. However, I've spent my money for the powers of good, and I've been brought to the 21st century. So let me take a picture for you that they won't see, but you'll see, so you can react, of the chair I used to sit in for every podcast, every time I would play games, anytime I would do anything on my computer, really, I would sit at this bad boy. Pioneers used to ride this baby for miles because when the pioneers existed, this was all they had.
Dude, my
Holy
grandma
shit.
literally has this exact chair, but it's a rocking chair instead.
Yeah, this is a classic.
It's just ancient, just wooden chair. I've been using that for years. Um, I have finally invested in a real chair. And what this means is podcast quality going way up because now
Do you have a
my
gamer
ass is
chair?
not gonna get tired. No, it's not a gamer chair. It's just an office chair. Um, well, it's an ergonomic chair, but it's just a chair here. For the culture, I can get you a nice picture of the chair.
Does your butt feel better? Does it feel cushioned?
I mean,
Dude,
it's
I
not
would
like a
not be able to sit
cushioned
in this on like a
chair,
desk. I mean, it's still
but it
more
is
comfortable
true.
than wood.
It's not like a cushioned chair. It's good for my back. Keeps my back straight. Like one of those.
Yeah,
Yeah.
But
I like this.
there were definitely days that we would like record the podcast, and I just finished the full like 8 hour shift,
Oh, yeah.
and I would be like, I do not want to sit in my wooden chair and yap for an hour.
Yeah.
So now I have at least a comfortable chair that's also
It does look more
supposed to be.
comfortable than the old rocking chair.
I kind of like it. When I got it, I was kind of like, I don't know, because looking at chairs is surprisingly an overwhelming thing. Um, because I'm like, I don't know shit about chairs. You know, do I want a cushioned chair? Do I want chair like this that has like ergonomics or whatever? Buzzwords. I don't know what that means, but that's what they all say.
I mean, it does help.
Um,
Yeah.
Chair has a headrest. I was like, that doesn't really seem all that important to me. Now I still don't think it seems all that important to me, but like, I guess it's cool to have a headrest.
You
This
never
has
know when your head
liftable.
needs a rest.
There's all these options, and it's like like with the wooden chair, right? It's like I just got out of a like long-term relationship with like my high school girlfriend, right? It's like this is all I've known, and now I'm out in the world, and it's like there's so many chairs. How do I pick one?
Yeah,
But
it's kind
yes,
of I feel. I'm probably gonna get a bowling ball because I've been bowling a lot. They're believe it or not, they're actually much more complicated than you would think. Than like looking
yeah,
at
I
a
was gonna
bowling
say
ball.
what all goes into that. So obviously there are sizes. I do know that
Yeah, they're
much
different
because when
weights.
you,
Yeah.
I think when I was a kid, I think I owned a bowling ball, which is funny because I don't think I really bowled that much. I feel like,
Maybe you had like a
I'm
hand
try-
me down or something.
yeah, someone in my family really loved bowling, maybe or something like that. I just have a memory of like owning a bowling ball. I mean, because I owned a bowling ball, I certainly bowled a lot, but saying I owned a bowling ball is like akin to being like, oh yeah, I bowled all the time. I'm like, no, I was 7. I bowled every once in a while, but for some reason I own a bowling ball still.
I think
Yeah,
I might still have one.
There's like, obviously the different weights, but then there's also like bowling balls have like a core to them, or at least like, I think the ones you would buy do. And these cores do different things. I guess like one video I watched, very simple way of thinking about it is like, when you watch professional bowlers, like they have it like curve at the last second, or like it curves during the throw, it hooks is what they call it.
Yes.
Yeah, but like different bowling balls have
And
like,
that's because they put magnets in the bowling balls, right?
yeah,
And so
exactly.
they just turn the magnet. They
That's not
click
like
the magnet
wholly
button.
incorrect, but like what they do is like they put a core in the bowling ball, and these cores
Yep.
I think have like different shapes to them. And so depending on what core you have, it will do things like maybe it hooks later in the roll. Like if you throw it slower and you want it to hook, like if it hooks too early, obviously if you roll it slowly, then that's a problem. But they're like, there's like just different levels to when it hooks. And then I'm sure there's a lot more that go. I haven't really started researching it too much, but I'm going to. But then you have to like, even when you get your ball, you have to like get it drilled at a pro shop or something to make
Yep,
sure
yep.
it's how you want it. But yeah, for a while I was
The
using.
different types of drills.
I don't think.
So
I
let
think
me
it's literally
rephrase
just
that.
comes down to like how you want it to fit your hand.
Yeah, I was gonna say, let me rephrase that as like, is there different, like, I guess grips would be the word, like different ways that people would have the holes drilled.
Yeah,
Yeah.
so like house balls in bowling alleys will have different balls of the same size, but like with. So I use for a while I was using a 10. With both my examples are gonna work anyway, so it doesn't really matter. But I used the 10, and then recently I've switched to been using a 15. But the 10 I was using, because I have another friend who uses the 10, but the 10 he uses is like really, it's like a tighter fit on the fingers and thumb, and so depending on how you want to roll it is like why you'd want different, or like how big your fingers are, I guess. But then there are also 10-pound balls that have like a medium size increase, a large, and then extra large. I was using the I don't like I was using the medium size. I don't really like it being too like tight around the fingers, because like whenever you're throwing the ball, like uh like sometimes, if the hole it sounds so bad out of context. If the hole is too small, right? Sometimes
Yeah.
your fingers might get stuck or something like that, and it might make your release awkward, or it might hurt like a bitch. And so I don't mess with that.
Daniel does not like tight holes, understood?
I do not like
Hey,
my
dude.
thumb to be in tight holes, because I don't want my thumb to break, or my fingers to break for that matter.
Yeah.
But yeah, so the 15 I've been using has like maybe a little too much room, but there's two different 15-pound one. Well, I mean, there's probably more than two, but there's two ones that I've noticed at the alley I go to with friends. One is like a fucking gargantuan like distance between the finger holes and the thumb hole, and so I don't use that one. But the other one, the holes are still relatively big, but they're closer together, and so I can get a better grip on it. But yeah, I mean, there's a lot that goes into it, and I haven't really started researching too much, but I'll have to do that, and then yeah, slowly but surely, my friend group is becoming like bowling nerds.
Dude, yeah. I remember I feel like I told you guys this, but like I had a friend in elementary school who's like an insane bowler. Like he's I don't know. He used to get 200 plus at like the age of 8 or something ridiculous. And he used to have like different custom balls for like yeah, like it was insane. Like there's a lot that goes into it.
Yeah, like different balls
Material
for
and
different
everything.
situations and
I
shit
forgot
like
like
that.
I forgot like the materials. It's like urethane and one other one that they use, but yeah,
That's
it's
not a
like
real
different
word.
from. Yeah, no, yeah. I mean, what do you mean? Urethane?
It sounds like you're gonna denuts me.
Oh my
I don't
gosh.
know what the punchline is,
I don't know. I don't, there's no, no,
but
there's
it's
no
so
people.
close. Like, oh, what's urethane? You're like, urethane. This You get it. You
Yep,
understand
yep.
how it works. The problem is Thane is not a word, and so then it needs to become a slang of some sort
Okay.
for it to work, right? Anyway, this is not the point.
Yeah.
So
200 at the
how?
age of 8 is wild.
Yeah. So how cracked are you guys now? Is
We're
this like
like
still hobby level, or is this like you could do like amateur competitions for funzy level?
we're somewhere in between. We're very inconsistent, and then part of that is because we don't have our own bowling balls. Like using a house ball, you're only gonna get so
They're
far.
all different.
Yeah.
And
Yeah, like you're not gonna consistently have like the same general thing.
so this is kind of like the
I
litmus
wouldn't
test.
say we're like we could probably be like mid-level competitors in a league at best. Um, I sucked ass for a really long time, but since I've switched to the 15 and I've started kind of I don't know, with the 15 what it lets me do is like when I was using the 10, I would roll it and I could like we're not it's just too light for me. Like I couldn't really tell where I was going wrong with my throws
Yeah.
whenever I threw the 10. But when I roll the 15, like as soon as I release it, I'm like, fuck, that is gonna go wide left or something like that. And I'm starting to get a better handle on just kind of like the nature of the 15. Because when I throw it certain, like generally, so the 10 pin is the far right back pin, and it's kind of like the peskiest pin, but usually. Um, but I've kind of like developed my own like routine for hitting that consistently, where I know where to stand. I know my biggest issue is definitely my walking up, but like even with my shitty ass walk up and release, I still feel like I'm definitely learning more about what to do, what I'm doing right and what I'm doing wrong by using a heavier ball, because it kind of forces me to like be able to feel what's going on. So I don't know if I want to step down a little bit, maybe just because I do throw the 15 kind of slow, which isn't like necessarily a problem, but it's not like an ideal thing to have either.
Also, it's just like more power. I mean, right? Like if you throw a 15 even slightly slower than a 10, it's like still more force hitting the pin, so it's more likely that you're going to hit more. So
Yeah,
yeah,
like
I mean, there's like a lot of
I've
advantage.
rolled the 10 at like two pins that are like right in like front and behind each other just in a row, and like it's bounced off the front one and then just didn't hit the back one. Like that's the life you live when you use like a lighter ball, is it might bounce, like the way it bounces off might be more problematic. That's why
What's
I
your
call
PB?
my PB. I actually just said it the other day on Tuesday. It's
I was gonna say,
only
because based on this, I'm sure like you and probably none of your friends have ever had like a 300, which
oh
is
no,
fine.
none
That's
of us have even
like
hit
doing
two.
that
None of
even
us have
one
even hit
time.
200.
That's what I'm saying. Doing that even one time is probably extremely hard. But that's why it's fun to be like, oh, what's your PB? Because once you hit 300, then it's like there's no PB left. And what would
Yeah,
it be like? Oh, I had 3 straight 300 games. Like that's what like the
It's
PB
too
post 300
hard.
is.
Yeah.
So right now, it's more fun to be like, oh, what's the PB looking like?
yeah. I my PB is not like I said. I sucked like major wiener for a long time. I'm starting to get more consistent. I have a much higher floor than I used to, but my ceiling is not very high. My PB is only 121 right now. But I feel like I can definitely break that. It's like once so I've made this now that I've made a switch to a ball that I feel more comfortable with and I understand what I'm doing. Um, like one of my biggest issues, like dude, I would always throw the 10. Like I have like negative hand-eye coordination. I was souling in that bitch to the left or the right. Uh, like I with no real control over what I was doing, and like with it's like one of those like this blind squirrel will find a nut every once in a while or something like that. Like that's what I was with bowling. Uh,
I thought it
and
was broken clock is right twice. Oh, whatever. Yep. Yep.
well,
I
I mean,
mean,
yeah,
I like.
there
I
is a
like that. I
broken
like that.
clock is right
Blind
twice a day,
squirrel
but
find
there's
a nut.
also
I like that.
a blind squirrel will find a nut every once in a while.
That's
You
good.
know,
That's good.
that's kind of like where I was. But ever since I've switched, now that I'm like trying to work more on the fundamentals of what I'm doing, I'm definitely getting better, and I'm not really leaving. There's still definitely kinks to work out in my game, but I'm getting more consistent to the point where I can definitely start having higher games. I think the personal best in our entire friend group is in the 180s. I think. But yeah, I mean, I think once we all have like a ball of our own, like that'll probably start to go up. And we only started like, I mean, this is, I mean, people train for years, obviously, to get better at these things. And we started back in like September. It's like a few months ago. So we're getting there. Barely even a few months ago, like a couple months ago, really. So yeah, and that's anyway, anime podcast.
A bowling
Do
podcast.
you feel more excited for the
For
2025
for
bowling
Turkey,
anime
dude,
now?
I'm so much more
Yeah.
hyped for Turkey. At first, I'm like, oh,
You're gonna become like a critic, bro. You're like, oh my god, this isn't actually what happens in bowling, you know? Like,
actually, she released it at the wrong angle for it to take that
yeah,
direction
that's
path.
not realistic, bro.
But yeah, I mean, before it was like, oh, cute girls doing cute things, but this time it's bowling. That'll be fun. And now I'm like, holy shit, let's go. It's gonna be bowling anime, like, you know. So yeah, I've definitely changed course. Like I was always excited for something that was just kind of, I like the niche, like little cute girls doing cute things anime. You know, it's like that's the bread and butter of anime right there. It's just some dumb plot that doesn't really matter, some niche sport that you don't understand, but you know, it's fun to watch regardless. But now it'll be extra fun just to see how they tackle the sport of bowling in an animated format.
Anime format.
Yeah.
I mean, it'll be fun, I think, regardless. It's just funny. Of course, it popped into my mind when you're talking about it, but it was just kind of like, oh yeah, that is an anime that's coming soon.
Yeah, I might have
we've had
mentioned
on
it
our
a
radar.
couple weeks ago, I think, actually, because I guess I got spat to put it on his planning or some shit. I don't
Yep.
remember.
I'll check it out.
We've definitely talked about it on the podcast, of course.
I like the niche. Like, if the premise is interesting, I'll watch it. Like, I'm not gonna, you know.
Yeah.
Bowling is like weird, so or not weird. It's like, you know, you wouldn't expect an anime, so yeah.
It will be funny to see one of the characters use. I think one of them has like a 16-pound ball or something they use, which is like
Holy.
that's gonna. I mean, that's the power of being young, I guess. Is you can
Try
use the
hard to
16-pounder ball without feeling the fatigue. Yeah, I don't know. Grant, I don't know. I use the 15, and I don't really feel too much fatigue or soreness or anything after, because we bowl like 4 games each week on Tuesdays, because it's buy one get one free.
4 games? Holy shit. Okay. Dude, after 2 my fingers start to hurt, but I don't know.
Well, that was the same for me at first. Part of it is how you throw the ball. Like I was throwing it wrong,
Yeah.
like horrifically wrong at first, and so I like probably sprained my wrist the first time I went bowling, because I hadn't been bowling in like a decade plus. And then you know, after the next time, like partway through, I fixed my throw in, fixed in quotations. I made it hurt, not I made it not hurt, but I was still throwing it like dog shit. But yeah, now it's like I'm using the 15-pounder. I'm throwing it more correctly, and I'm not really feeling any fatigue or anything. Now, granted, if we continue to bowl for years, maybe that's gonna come back to bite me as I hit my later ages. But for right now, I have enough.
Will thinks he's 50.
I'm just like, as of right now, I still have the healing capabilities of a younger human being, and
True.
so I can I can ignore the fatigue that throwing a 15-pound hunk of whatever the fuck will do.
If it's just fatigue, then you'll just get stronger over time, so you'll be fine. 15 will be
You know,
nothing.
I've literally just like gotten used to it. Like my muscles just don't. Muscles.
Yeah, you're just gonna be ripped.
Like,
your right hand is gonna be. I assume you bowl with your right hand. Your right hand is. Your
yeah,
shoulder's
I
gonna
can't.
be like,
The only
massive.
time anyone in my friend group even like thinks to use their left hand. So I have there are different ways to throw the bowling ball. You can do it one-handed or two-handed. And one of my friends does two-handed. But there are times where, like, so he throws it two-handed and it spins towards the left side. So it starts on the right, goes to the left. But whenever there's a pin left on the very far right, he has like thrown it with 2 hands for long enough now that we've been doing this. So he's like forgotten how to throw it straight. So he instead developed a left-handed like lob spin designed specifically to hit that that pin, which He's trying to learn how to throw it in a better
I
manner
don't.
with his two hands to get it from the right to just hit it with a normal right hand throw. But
I'd probably be better bowling left-handed than right-handed, if I had to guess. I'm like trained ambidextrous, so I'm fake
Trained is crazy.
ambidextrous.
Wait, what do you mean?
Well, I played basketball and stuff like that,
Oh,
right?
okay, sure.
So I force myself to do a lot of things with my left.
I feel like
So
this
at
might
this
be a
point,
little different.
yes,
Because like
but
in basketball, I could do stuff with my left as well, and I wasn't really. I guess I wasn't trained in it or
I
anything.
know, but like part of like kind of getting that mental of like being ambidextrous is like doing mundane things with your left too. Like it's
Yeah.
not just about like doing things basketball wise with my left hand. But that is to say, I've never tried bowling left-handed. But I think like if bowling was something that I wanted to get good at, I would probably be better to use my left than my right for two reasons. One, um I don't think this matters, but for example, like I shoot a gun left-handed, I shoot a bow left-handed because I'm left eye dominant.
I see.
Which
Okay. Yeah, I've
bowling
heard of
feels like
that.
one of those things where I'm like, I don't know if the dominant eye would matter that much, but at the same time, it is one of those things where I'm like, perhaps, bowling the same side as my dominant eye would be a good idea.
It might a little bit, because a lot of bowlers like there's the arrows on the lane to like determine where you're
hmm
throwing the ball each time. So you would feel more comfortable looking at them with specifically more with your left eye than your right eye. But I mean
The
that
other
depends.
reason is um since I am fake ambidextrous and I've specifically like put energy into like learning how to do a lot of things with my left hand, I would say my left arm is stronger than my right arm, which is something that whenever I go to the gym with people, people tend to notice is that well, I'm right-handed, so there's a little bit more control in my right arm when I'm like lifting weights or doing stuff like that. But my left, for the same general reason, is a lot stronger than my right. So that's the other reason why I feel like if this were something that I were to ever take up and I was like teaching myself a real bowling technique, I would probably it would probably be better for me to learn left-handed bowling. Now I don't bowl enough that that's like a real thing to care about. I would just use my right because it's easy.
Mhm.
Yeah.
And I'm gonna look like less of an idiot at first because that's the other thing when you're fake ambidextrous and you're learning things with your left. Sometimes you get the hang of it like you would normally, but there's a lot of like fuck ups, right?
Right.
Fake ambidextrous is it's too funny.
Yeah.
I like
We'll
that.
have to have a Gochuucast bowling episode one day, and then we can
Okay.
find out.
Um,
YouTube only. I mean, it's all been YouTube only lately. I don't
E-
know that that's
I mean
true. I just
images.
know that
it may be true. So what happened
the
was
Spotify is currently on episode 127.
so what happened was I got sick for a couple weeks, and I didn't feel like waiting at my desk to like render the fucking what's it called, and then like just deal with all that. I didn't feel like doing anything more than dragging and dropping at the computer desk.
Right.
And so what's it's led to? It's actually kind of the same thing with that I'm behind on all my anime right now. Is I see that I'm behind on multiple things. I'm like, fuck, dude, I don't feel like sitting down and rendering this right now. And it's not just one episode, Now,
And then it
it's three. Now
snowballs.
it's
Yeah.
three episode. Yeah, the snowball effect has now turned it into like 4 episodes.
When it's one episode, you're like, oh, I can put it
I'm
off.
like,
And then when
oh,
it's
whoops,
four
teehee,
episodes,
one episode, my bad. And then,
it's,
but now it's
yeah.
4 episodes. I'm like, that's a lot of like sitting down, and I still have all the episodes. Not like it matters that much,
Yeah,
but
of course. They'll get up
they
at
will be
some
there.
point.
They will be there. I'm
I just
sure.
I sent Mars a message earlier talking about podcasting tonight, and he sent me the screenshot of it on episode 127. Our dedicated Spotify audience is starving.
Well, Get YouTube Premium. Just so never be a problem. Anyway,
I've been thinking lately about
I've had it for a
getting
while.
YouTube Premium just because I watch so much stuff on YouTube.
yeah,
And
it's been like life changing to just
we've
Yeah.
talked about
have the
how I
ability
like
to do that.
I like to split screen stuff, like play games or stuff like that on my phone while having something like YouTube up. And I'm like, honestly, it's really annoying to have to like interrupt my split screen to go skip ad after
Yeah,
5 seconds,
I
or
use.
risk being stuck in an ad for 20 minutes because there are still long roll ads
Also, I
occasionally.
heard that like if you don't have premium, because I don't know, I've had premium for so long. If you like turn off your phone with a YouTube video running, it like stops playing. But like if you
Well,
have
yeah,
premium, it like continues.
Yes,
Yeah,
that's
premium.
correct.
Yeah, you can continue, and you can't
yeah,
interrupt
yeah.
it
Also, like
I
otherwise.
music, I think there's a degree of the same thing. Like
yeah.
certain videos on YouTube, like music and stuff like that, you
Yeah,
can
there's
watch in the
YouTube
app.
Music.
But if
Yeah,
you
when I'm
try to
driving or
leave
whatever, I'll
the app,
listen to like longer YouTube videos. So I kind of need that. Like I don't know. Yeah,
Like
well not need, but it's
I tried to
convenient.
send a song to someone one time, and they'd messaged me back. They're like, I can't watch that. I'm like, wait, what?
Oh no.
Well, I just didn't know that was a thing. Like, I got access to
yeah.
like music on the YouTube itself rather than like I needing to go to YouTube Music or some shit.
Yeah. Um. So I don't know. Maybe at some point. There's so many. I mean, last week was it last week? 2 weeks ago, we had the big streaming talk about stuff. What's
Yeah, it was
funny
last week.
Yeah.
Or yeah,
is
Oh wait.
2 weeks. It
Okay.
was 2 weeks. It was 2 weeks.
we talked about Peacock, and then Peacock was the service that had Michigan's first Big Ten basketball game. And so I was like, God damn it, we just talked about Peacock. And of course I get peacocked immediately. I don't like that verb. I've decided. But
Yeah.
peacocked. I did, and on the topic of anime, because of course we are an anime podcast, contrary to popular belief.
Allegedly.
I did watch two things this week.
Okay.
Do we
All right.
want to start with mid or peak?
Start with peak. We can always. I feel like there's more to talk about with mid.
Yes, we can talk about peak. I have caught up in multiple ways with Shangri-La Frontier. So I am caught up on season 2, which where it ended at season 2 was about the same general place that I was paused in the manga. So I caught up with season 2 and then was like, I guess I'll now go catch up with the manga. And then I did that. And then I was like, let me see what the web novel's like. And I didn't read the web novel. And there's a very important reason why. Um I don't know if so right now in the manga, I am not gonna spoil what it is or anything like that, but I'm paused in the middle, not paused, but there's a big fight going on right now. And it's like smacking near the end. And so I was like, oh, let me see if how like the web novel is, if it would be, fun to go, finish this in the web novel and check it out. But my immersion cannot go between the manga and the web novel because the fight is entirely different in the novel than it is in the manga, like
I see.
mechanically. And so it was like there's a bunch of cool stuff happening in the manga, and I mean there's cool stuff in the web novel. I think if I only was reading the web novel, I'd be perfectly happy with the fight still. So there's a bunch of cool things that were happening in the manga as like mechanics of the fight, right? And so then I go to the web novel and these mechanics don't exist. And it's like an entirely different setup. And I'm like, I would either have to start the fight over in the web novel format, which is possible, or just go back to being normal and just waiting for the manga to release and not further increasing the amount of stuff that I have to read. Because I'm fairly certain there's a fuck ton of content if I started reading the web novel. But
Yeah.
I'm excited, and I know we talked about this. Season 2 is 2 cores,
Yeah.
and so I've been like This is always the fun like post reading game. Is like, what all are we gonna cover this season? Some really cool stuff in the next like 2 or 3 episodes probably to end the first core that I'm excited for. I think unfortunately the part that I'm in right now, I don't know if it can fit into the 2 cores, the part in the manga. I'm hoping it can because that would be fun.
I mean, you said
But
you're in the middle of a fight in the like. I don't think it'd go past the manga, though.
I mean, it could because it's based
I
on a web novel. But
I mean, I think the anime is
correct,
based on the manga, though. Like, it's
correct,
even if there was
correct.
a web novel, I don't think it would go past the manga.
I would not. So how would I describe it? The problem is it's gonna start the arc for this fight, and so then I'm curious where it's gonna end, and I think I know what the end point is. Um, and then I made a joke afterwards when we were talking about this before, and I was like, maybe they'll do a movie for the fight. Um, which is like a funny thing to think about, like a movie or just a season. So right now, that fight is at part 29. 29 chapters of manga have been that fight. So the Weathermon fight, it's season 1, was 4 episodes,
Yeah,
and it was, I think, I want to say 12 chapters. I'm confirming this. So it's 13 chapters
mm-hmm.
into 4 anime episodes,
That's
which
a lot.
is,
It's around. Is Shangri-La Frontier monthly or
I
weekly?
guess.
I want to say it's weekly.
I mean, how
I
it probably depends on the page count. I would assume it's like 20 chapters or whatever, and weekly probably, but or 20 pages area.
Yeah. So current episode, 8 episodes into, ended at chapter 76. Okay. I forgot how long some of the next stuff is. So the next arc goes to 96. So that probably at minimum finishes the core. Then we're at 12 or 13. Then we start the next arc, big arc, which is 110. And that's a lot of information. So probably at least 3, 4 episodes. Yeah, I just feel like it's gonna end at a weird part. It's not necessarily gonna be a bad part, but I can't see it fitting in the current fight, obviously. Because one, it would catch up to the manga. Or at least it would be like, it probably wouldn't pass it by then, but at the very least it would be like caught up, like within, a couple months. I
Yeah.
wonder what they will do. Maybe they will do a movie. That'd be funny. Is a movie enough time? 30
Who
chapters
knows?
plus? I don't think it's gonna go past 40. I mean, I don't know. Do you know how this show gets with the fucking shit? All of a sudden they're like, oh yeah, there's another phase. By the way, boss has a 6th phase. I don't think it'll go past 40 though. So that's like, I mean, that's like 3 hours of runtime, but it's action. It would have to be a long movie, I think. They'd probably be better off just doing a 1 core season. Could you imagine an entire season that's just dedicated to one fight?
I mean, that's just Dragon Ball.
I mean, that's just sports series too, I guess. Haikyuu literally has a season. The season 3, it's 10 episodes and it's a single game.
Yeah.
So I guess it's like not the craziest thing. Um, it'll be fun. Season 2 has been really good, and there's some really good stuff. Did you watch the newest episode yet, Daniel?
Yeah, I've liked season 2. I still think I like season 1. Like even just comparing first halves, I think I still like season 1
I
more.
agree.
But
Season
we'll
1
see
felt
once it gets to maybe some of the other content. Because not that I've like disliked anything in season 2, but I'm definitely less interested in the I guess some of the fights it's been
yeah.
a lot of it has been like CGI fights, which is like the CGI looks fine. Um,
It's also like there's been good fights so far this season, but it hasn't had like a crazy fight yet.
yeah, like see the first episode against like the fucking goofy exploding rocks or whatever the fuck, I still think is probably like the most or like the best fight so far, maybe.
Hmm. I think the season 1 content is better than what the season 2 content is, but it's not because it's necessarily like good or bad, right?
Yeah.
It's just the season 2 content is a lot of like
There's a lot of setup I feel like for the
build
future
up.
right now.
Yeah, build up, set up, stuff like that. He's, instead of him discovering things, he's on this big quest to, get his rare item that he wants to, you know, play with his toys. And this is also this past arc they did was one of the like, hey, we're gonna spend a little bit of time playing a different game arcs, which are cool, but it's also like it's just objectively harder to be interested in the episodes that are like blatant side quest, right?
Yeah.
Like I think the Nephilim Hollow stuff that we just ended was fun, but it was like 2 3 weeks of hey, we're not playing Shangri-La Frontier.
Yeah, like I don't mind. Like I think back in season 1, whenever they had like a different game, usually it's like a one-off episode or some shit.
Yeah.
But in this one, it's like, oh, we're dedicating multiple episodes to this, and this one had more of a reason because instead of like now like that, some of the players in that game are like directly implicated in some of the stuff in the main game. But
Yes. Like
um,
now you understand why we had to be here.
yeah,
Um I think the next um like outside of Shangri-La Frontier arc is really good. And I think they do these arcs really well. It's just like I said, it's inherently one of those things that's no matter how good it is, there's just that feeling of like, but I want to get back to the main game.
yeah,
Season 2 will be fun. I'm just really interested now in what the season 3 plan is going to be, or the continuing, I guess, the season 3 slash movie slash whatever they want to do for that, because it's going to end at a weird spot. So I think it's going to end right leading into that fight.
yeah. Who knows? Maybe they will do a movie. We'll see.
Movie would go hard.
All right, what's the mid, bro? What's the
Yeah,
mid?
what's the mid?
Yeah, okay, we can talk about mid. So you might remember because I was looking for something to watch the other night, and as I was looking at things that I needed to watch for this season, I was like, I am gonna be split screening. So I was like, I don't want to watch anything good. So you might remember that while I was in Houston, I got to see episode 1
Oh god.
of a random isekai anime called Loner Life in Another World.
Yeah, yeah.
I'm
Remember
now
that?
caught up on it, and it's mid. It's,
That's
I mean, it's
crazy. I couldn't
exactly.
have predicted that.
I know. It's exactly what you would think it would be. Um, I don't know. Shitty isekai are just like, even when they're mid, I'm like, I'm enjoying this. I definitely think I liked it more when I watched episode 1 in an auditorium of people that were like reacting, obviously, because that's just fun. Um, it's not like a bad watch though, but this is one of those things that it's like I could never recommend this to someone just off of the fact of like there's so many isekai.
Right.
I feel like this would also probably be more. So the thing with Shangri-La Frontier does the whole like video game and stats and everything, like presenting them in a way that makes it very consumable and understandable, right? Like
Mm-hmm.
we know how he's using skills, we know when he's getting new skills, stuff like that, really easily. This show is also one that has like a, it's not a video game, but it has like that type of like level and skill system and stuff like that that a lot of these random isekais do. But this is another one of those ones where it's like it just doesn't necessarily make sense, and we kind of hand wave over it because we don't want to spend time. So I'm like, in a novel format, it probably would be really fun. To kind of how like Majiro doesn't really in the anime explain anything about the magic system, but when I read through the novel, I got like all of the lore on that, and I was like, oh, okay, this is kind of like cool magic system. I feel like this would be similar in if I read it, I would have a better understanding of like exactly how their skill system works.
Right.
And I
Yeah, I
think that
always.
would.
No, I was just gonna say, if like a system of like things happening in a show is like confusing, like I always hate that. I already get confused enough by like characters and shit. Like, yeah, I
It's
feel that.
also like the draw is supposed to be, oh, he's a loner,
Hmm.
right? Um but most of the series he's with like the other people from his class who got isekai'd. Partially because they kind of like force him to come with, partially because he's OP, as all isekai protagonists are, and so they like need him around. But I'm kind of like, what's the point in presenting this as? And don't get me wrong, side characters are important, right?
Right.
I think having like the side character cast it makes anything inherently more entertaining. But I'm like, if the whole draw is that he's supposed to be a loner, but 70% of the screen time is like him with all of the other characters, it just kind of is a little bit of an eye roll. It's like, well, he's not really a loner right now.
Yeah.
He wants to be alone, right? And he has like a loner personality, but it's kind of like, well, he's he's still just like around everyone. So, um, I caught up on that. Nothing particularly exceptional to say.
You're
It
mid.
was a watch of all time, as you know, expected.
Yeah, yeah. As I scrolled down on the annual list and found what you watched, like, see, that makes sense. I
Well, it
guess,
was just like
yeah.
because I was looking at stuff to watch this season, right? And there's Magical Girls Inc., which I couldn't really find. What is this streamed on?
It's on Amazon
It's
Prime.
Amazon Prime. That's why. I do have Amazon Prime Video, so maybe I'll go check that out next. Blue Lock season 2. Yeah.
Yeah.
Shangri-La I caught up on. Love Live season 3 I watched with people. Danmachi I watched with Mars. And I'm only a couple episodes behind on. Blue Box I watched with Mars, only a couple episodes behind on. Dawn to Dawn I watched with Mars, only a couple episodes behind on. ReZero's gone for 2 months. And Mega Ude was the other one I was considering. But ultimately I was like, I kinda want to give Mega Ude like full attention when I watch it.
Right.
So I was like, we'll do the loner one because it's something that I won't mind if I miss some random stuff while I'm just not like fully paying attention. Because that's the other hard thing when I'm like split screening stuff and multitasking with anime is it's not in English, and so I'm multitasking, but my eyes need to be on the subtitles for a large portion of it. I guess also on my list I have 365 Days to the Wedding, which I don't know if I'm gonna watch yet.
Yeah. Speaking of
I'm not.
mid, um,
Yeah, I know, and that's like it's tough because I know Mars likes this a lot. I was kind of like, I'll watch it just because I know you like the series, but then I'm also like, all I've heard about the anime is that it's just kind of been, eh.
so so I just caught up to it, to yesterday, and then today another episode came out, so I watched that. But what this anime does is I feel like every step forward that we take is a really long, slow motion step. Because they'll
Mhm.
do the thing that you're like, oh my god, we're progressing. And then they don't do anything with it for like an episode or two. And then they get back to it. And then to move to the next point, we gotta wait another 2 episodes or something like that to move on with the point. Um, and today was another one of those where the step was taken, but I feel like I'm gonna have to wait another episode or two to see where that
To
step
see
actually leads to. Um,
Nice.
so it's just like kind of like a carrot on a stick. Like they're just like leading me forward. Like I gotta like fuck it, whatever. I'll chase after the carrot. Um, and then eventually you get the carrot, but then they throw another carrot, and you're like, fuck, man. All right, well, I guess.
That's how they keep you in. If you can't, if the story isn't compelling enough, they have to do that.
Yeah, like most of the episodes are like spent rolling my eyes, and then we get to the end, I'm like, oh, and then the episode ends. I'm like, fucking damn it! Like, okay, next week, we'll see. And then next week they like have to technically address it, but then they like dance around it for the whole episode, and then either they get to it at the end of that episode, or we have to wait until the next episode to find anything. And I'm like, fucking damn it, dude. I feel like maybe once this anime get actually, cause it's not progressing slow on like a anime romance scale, I guess. But it's not like, I don't know. Maybe it'll get the ball rolling more once we finally like get the plane off the ground. Is what I'm thinking here. But um, it can be a struggle to. I feel like maybe this would probably be a better read. Especially because I think it's done, so you could
It's
just binge read it.
rated. If you're curious, the anime ratings average score 67, mean score is 68, and then the manga is 77s in both. So part of that is being finished. I think things that are
Yeah,
finished inherently have higher scores because the people who wait to rate things until they're done get their ratings in. And also it's just like if the ending's good, that's gonna boost a score up. But still, like that's a pretty big disparity.
we're limping
To,
forward here. I mean, part of it is also like I don't know how good the art is. So from the cover, it seems like it's pretty decent. Um,
the art here to me looks more appealing than the anime art style.
Anime art style is like very typical anime. Like there's nothing special about it. Yeah, it's just like
Yeah, so I don't
it's
know. Maybe
painfully all right, I guess.
I probably won't end up watching it. Maybe I'll just save it for like my quote. One day I'll read this list. Most things that
Yeah, if you
don't
ever
actually end
like
up
actually
reading,
get the
but
itch for this, I think it's just better to read it because I mean I don't know. I watch every episode of like it's like stepping on glass, like watching these episodes, and then once I get to the end of an episode, I can like take the shards out, and then I gotta wait until next week to walk across glass again. I don't know. It's just
that's fair.
it's definite. It's not gonna be like the worst show of the season or the year. But I'm gonna forget about it by the time it ends. I'll be like, all right, yep, I watched that. Very I don't know, and there's some episodes that just focus a lot on like the side cast. I'm like, I don't give a fuck about the side cast. Like, they haven't given me a reason to care about the side cast. Um, there's been like somewhat compelling they did recently, but it was like a one-off episode thing that I'm sure might come back later, but like it's not gonna come back to the season. I'm never gonna find out how that ends. Like, an interesting plot line with a side character, and now it's gone. like fuck you, damn it. Whatever. All right. Other things I caught up to. I caught back up to Suma Show, which is the wife reincarnation one.
Gotcha.
This show, I'm like, I'd say it's a mixed basket. I don't know what to fucking think about this shit. Every time I finish an episode, I am either thinking like, man, this show is like really finding its footing, or I'm thinking like, what the fuck? It's just, I don't know what to think about it as a whole, because there's some episodes that I find very compelling. Like, I'll finish the episode, I'm like, man, that was really fucking good. And then there's some episodes I finish, I'm like, we feel like we're going. I don't know how quickly it's adapting this, but it feels like we're gonna be done with the entire manga by the time the season ends. And I don't know if it's adapted well or not. I don't know how long.
You know how far along they are in the like
the manga,
wherever they are in the anime. Like,
I have no idea. So the manga itself is 111 chapters.
sure.
Let me see how long. I'm gonna see how long these chapters are, because I feel like that also might be a thing. But the content doesn't feel like it would blend well to like a short manga, so I don't know for sure what that would be. Let's see, Suma Shogakuse. So it finished at 111. Chapter 1. It's 28 pages. Let's scroll down. Let's go to like chapter 38. They're all like 20 pages or whatever. Yeah, I don't know. This just doesn't feel... It feels like we're gonna get to the end of the series by the time this season ends, based on how things are going right now. And now I'm just like, I just don't understand how that's going to occur. But yeah, there are times where things seem like they're moving really fast. Like this previous episode, I got to the end and I'm like, holy shit. Like that is a giant glass of drama that suddenly just got airdropped onto this series. It was like a logical progression, but we got there so fast. I'm just like, I don't feel like it made sense. I always I knew this was going to happen eventually. But we just got there in a way that I'm like, you know, I could have used like another 12 episodes maybe to get to this point. Like, it's a lot to handle. So yeah, I don't I don't know. But and then some of my other issues with the show also still kind of remain. I think the OST, I'm not going to say the music itself is bad, but it doesn't fit what I'm watching. Like, there'll be like a rather serious discussion going on, or maybe just a discussion with serious undertones to it, and then there'll be like, how in Club Penguin you could like make pizzas, there was a mini game. Like, it felt like some music that would play during that shit is like going on in like serious moments. I'm like, oh,
like unlocked a memory.
I'm like, this goofy ass OST over this serious ass fucking story. Like, I just can't handle it. Yeah, I don't know. I think it's definitely gotten more interesting as of late and more thought-provoking. Because the situation that it has set up is extremely compelling, but yeah, I think that's marred by other issues that surround it. But yeah, that's my thoughts on that. And then something else I caught up to today, I was a few episodes behind. Caught up to Dawn to Dawn. The show
I'll have to catch up.
is so fucking stupid.
I'm a couple
Yeah,
episodes back still, but
I
I
heard it
have
got really stupid.
have no words to describe today's episode. It was very funny. I'm gonna like
okay.
what it did. Like I don't feel like I've ever seen it. It's not. It's just not what I expected. Um, it's certainly like I don't know. It got some chuckles out of me. This show is very dumb, and there are things I don't like about it and things I do like about it. It is endearing though. Like it is something I
Yeah.
come away from each episode like not I have fun every time I watch it, even if there are things I roll my eyes at or just don't find like that funny. Like I'd say my main gripe with this, and this would be completely solved if I went and read the manga instead. Shit's really loud. These characters scream a lot. Um, which, I don't know.
Yeah.
I mean, that's like an anime thing, but I'm like, holy shit, dude. Like, if I wanted to hear screaming, I'd go watch season 1 of Demon Slayer with every episode Zenitsu's in. Like,
You can watch Black Clover.
yeah, go watch Black Clover. That, like, literally Black Clover fans, like, yeah, Asta's pretty loud in the beginning or so whatever the fuck. They just don't blame people for dropping it, which is insane. But, yeah, no,
Yeah, it's like the most randomly understood thing people will drop. Or they consider dropping Black Clover over Asta being loud, and all of the fans are just like, yeah, I mean, you can't really argue that much. Um, Good series though. It's just funny. Um, because it fits the character, but that doesn't make it not annoying, right?
right. Yeah, it's just one of those things where I'm like, yeah, it's just a lot of screaming. They do a whole lot of that. It can be annoying after a while. Um, but I enjoy the show overall. I don't think it's like the best of the year. I don't think it's peak fiction or anything, but
It's not peak fiction, but
I
It
enjoy
has
it.
good characters,
At
which I
worst,
think
I enjoy it.
matters a lot.
Yeah, I mean, some of them I need to be more. I don't know. I like the main duo. I think they have a good chemistry.
Yes,
But everyone else, I'm gonna have to let grow on me.
I agree with that. I mean, I've barely met um any of the side characters. I mean, I'm 7 episodes in, so I've met
almost
the
7.
grandma, of course.
Very, I forget.
You met the
I've met
grandma.
pink-haired girl,
You've met Ira.
but
Grandma's, yeah.
Grandma. Yeah, no, grandma is like interesting character, I guess.
Interesting is one way to put it.
Yeah, interesting is a way to put it. Uh,
I
yeah.
don't know how I feel about Ira, what either. But
I've had her around for 3 more episodes than you, and I still don't know how to feel about her. So it's kind of where
yeah,
we
it's
are right
valid.
now. She's gonna be like one of those people that I find like whatever at first, and then at some point I'll be like, okay, yeah, she's chill. And apparently we're gonna get another character who's like that, but I don't know. We'll see.
Divisive.
Yeah, like literally just all the posts I was seeing of Ira and then the other character we're gonna be getting, probably I guess like next episode or some shit, is like they're gonna get so much shit for weeks before people finally come
Where
around
people
to
are
them.
like, yeah, we're fine with them.
Yeah, but we'll see. We will see.
I was it's funny you mentioned Dandadan. It's like I was gonna mention the this week well last weekend I met with some of my high school friends. And anime wasn't isn't like something we ever talk about,
Right.
honestly. Like surprisingly. I mean, I think most of us watch some at least. But it's just never a topic that came up, and for some reason we decided to talk about it. And one of my friends, he said, because I like PK, I'm only on episode 7 or 8, I forget, 7 maybe. And he said, yeah, Don got really weird, got like really weird in the past couple episodes. So I'm kind of scared,
No,
but we'll see.
episode 9 is like an acid trip for sure, and the ending is like I don't know if you've ever heard of the cum panel. That's the I don't
Okay.
know. Just
maybe.
know that's what you're getting yourself into.
Okay, I'll prepare myself for the cum panel, I guess. But yeah, the reason I mentioned that also was like I was talking to them about like what shows they were watching, which kind of leads into another thing that I was doing. Um, and like I feel like we talked about this whenever we mentioned like the My Anime List thing with the rankings and like who's battling for number one and all of that. Well, now there's not much of a battle for number one, right? But
Yeah.
like in the top 10, there's always like so many whatever seasons of Gintama. One of my friends said, "Yeah, that's like my
Yeah.
favorite anime." I was like, "What?" It's like, yeah, I feel like I never hear about people who watch that show, but I don't know, whatever. Yeah,
I mean, it's
that's his
extremely
favorite show.
popular. I mean,
Yeah, it is. It
yeah.
is, but it's like I don't know. It just feels like maybe just the people I talk
Definitely, it's
about
not
anime
like
with.
as much of a Western watch as opposed to
Maybe
like
yeah,
other play. I mean, even like on my anime list, not that many people have like rated it or whatever. But
yeah. But apparently whoever watches it loves it. So
yeah, I
I
feel
don't
like
know.
I've never heard a bad thing about
Yeah.
Gintama.
Um, and then yeah, one of my other friends mentioned that he and his girlfriend are watching One Piece. They're on episode 300 something. So there you go, another one for PK's little 7,000 episode anime. Yeah, they're watching One Piece, and then I asked another one of my friends, "Oh, what's your favorite anime?" And he said, "Mob Psycho." So I actually decided to start watching that. I just finished episode 2 earlier today. So I just started basically. But it's interesting. It's like I don't know. At the end of episode 2, I'm like starting to kind of get into it, and I'm pretty excited for the next. What's coming next. But it is kind of weird. Like I think it might be just the art style that's throwing me off a little bit. I'm not sure, but
It's
um,
definitely
it's
goofy.
interesting. Yeah, yeah,
Uh,
goofy. That's a good
yeah,
word.
I like season 1 of Mob. I really like season 2, and season
Okay.
3 was like somewhere in between the two.
Yeah.
It's not like anything earth shattering, but it's just solid. Like it's
Hmm.
funny. Has extremely good animation, which you'll
Hmm.
get accustomed to.
Yeah.
And then yeah, it's just good. Like it
Yeah.
not there. I mean, a lot of people would probably call it peak, I guess. I almost like put it somewhere in the realm of Dandadan, except I don't find. Well, I don't think the lows of Mob are anywhere near like the lows I might feel with Dandadan. Like I don't get
Yeah.
annoyed watching any of the characters in Mob. Like it's just anything dumb that happens, like it just fits. Um and none of the characters are overly annoying. It's just a goofy ass show that I mean even season 1, even though I said like I like season 1 the least out of it, like season 1's still like pretty good. Like I'd say definitely more comedy aspect in season 1 than the other seasons. Um
Like get more serious in the other seasons, or is it just like
Serious might be a strong word, but it's definitely, well, maybe not even strong. Like, it definitely is more serious than the other seasons.
yeah?
It feels like there's more weight to what's happening. I
Okay.
think that's a big thing. But season 1 is still good. It's good and funny, etc. So
Yeah.
I
I
think I
found
think you'll enjoy it.
Yeah, I really like how colorful it is. Like some of the scenes, they're just, I mean, I guess it's like a trip, right? But like, I don't know. Some of the scenes are very, very colorful, which I like. Yeah, the art style is still a little bit weird. It's still, I don't know. I'll get used to it eventually, but yeah, I'm liking it so far. I mean, whenever, like, I know a few of my other friends who watch anime, they really like the show as well. But whenever I asked them like, "Oh, what show do you think I'd like a few people have mentioned like Mob Psycho, and I just never got around to watching it. But I don't know, whatever. Just started it, so we'll see how it goes. I'll update you guys on how I like it. But I'm pretty excited. I liked as I learned more about Mob, I guess, um, or whatever his actual name is. It's
Yeah.
yeah. I'm getting a little bit more like invested in him, especially at the end of episode 2. So, yeah, I'm excited. Um, so that was one thing I started, and then I think last time we talked about it, I hadn't watched the last like episode of ReZero, so I finished that. So I don't know, excited for the second part of the season. Unfortunately, I have to wait for that, but yeah, I'm excited for that.
Yeah, it's gonna be very exciting. It's kind of like
Yep.
blue balls you at the end. You're like, oh
Yeah.
fuck, can't wait for next
Yeah,
week.
the
And
ending
there
was
is no
like,
next
oh,
week,
I want to see what happens.
dude.
Um,
I mean, shit goes
yeah.
down. There's fucking something hilarious is gonna happen in the next core, and I can't wait
Oh
to talk
no.
about it. It's just one of those moments like it happens, and you're like, what the fuck? Like, it's just so out of pocket. I can't wait for it, but you know, we'll get there eventually. Um, but you know, it's just solid, great series. I need to get my reread going. It looks like I might have other people joining me on a read because I was asked by Mars and Sam and Resh to put together like a guideline for reading, which
Yeah, that's valid.
yeah, it's I can just copy paste it because there's no spoilers in it, but it's like I don't know, dude. As I'm putting it together, I'm like, fuck, dude, this series is big, and then it's like this like doesn't even cover uh like clicking on the side story document like really puts into perspective how fat of a fucking series this is. Because like
Holy.
you'll go on the side story and then you click like arc one side stories, you're like, oh, there's not a lot going on there. Then you click arc
Oh my
two.
god, these acronyms are insane. JFF, just for fun. Okay, dude.
Well, I mean, it's just recommendation status,
Yeah.
obviously. Like, you know, so not everyone is gonna read the for fun stories, so some of them, you know, are just more important than others. Um, but like arc one, it's like, oh, there's not a lot, and then arc two, it's like, oh, that's like an entire page, and then arc three is the same, just the same for every like subsequent arc, and arc five is where it like really starts to.
Yeah, this is a lot of holy
There's
crap.
a
Okay.
lot of side content. The author
Yeah.
is a crackhead for writing,
Okay. Interesting.
but yeah. I'm very excited for that to come back and to go forward afterward, which I'm sure we're gonna have another wait. And I'm gonna be sad about that too.
Yep. Yep. How long until the Crunchyroll Awards again? I'm
I
just like, I
don't.
don't know why. I'm just so excited for that. I gotta see
I
freaking
mean, it's
Demon
not going to
Slayer.
be until like
Yeah, I know.
February and March,
Yeah,
right?
yeah, yeah. I'm
I mean,
I'm
we'll be
depending
able
on.
to talk about like our own personal
Sure, yeah.
stuff pretty much whenever we want to.
Oh
Dude,
wait,
Um,
hold up. Just 2 hours ago, actually, Crunchyroll announces big changes for 2025 Anime Awards. Let me read this.
okay.
Let me.
Live. Let's go. Let's go.
Okay, so ninth annual Crunchyroll Anime Awards will return to Tokyo, Japan on May 25th, 2025. Let's see. I think I think they're doing like a con somewhere. They announced this stuff. Let's see. Per Presley's. Let's see. Celebrity announcer. Okay, it's just co-stars and stuff. Uh, Voting begins April 3rd. Awards night date May 25th. So significant changes have been made to the Anime Awards. The eligibility period has been updated to span from October 1st to December 31st. So
okay.
I think
So they're including the stuff that
this is
was
the
not allowed
fall.
last year,
Yeah,
but
this is
they're
the fall
extending it.
season.
Yeah,
So this what makes this make me is I feel like for 2026 what
they'll do just the calendar
they'll do
year.
just the calendar year. So yeah,
Yeah,
this is like the tank year where we have a lot of shit going on.
yeah.
Um
They're putting a whole extra core in this so they can
yeah,
kind of
actually
correct
in the
it.
future nominee eligibility will extend from January 1st to December 31st. So literally
There you
everything that releases within the calendar year will be allowed.
go. Good.
New Oh god, okay. New categories for the show will include best isekai and
Fine.
best Hindi voice artist. So I guess it's like another dub award, but they have Hindi now. Fan favorite categories like best OP and best main character will return. Shocking. The nominees will be revealed on April 3rd. Obviously, I don't know when the same day fan voting begins. I don't know when they're gonna announce the full full list of categories. Unless they announce all the categories. Because they have, I mean, they're showing new categories, but it makes me wonder. Oh, let me see. Control 2025 categories. Okay, it just doesn't. It's just not saying the category, so we still don't have that quite yet, I don't think. But I'm glad that we are getting rid of the fall season exclusion bullshit, because that
Yes.
definitely just made things weird. Like, there's always gonna be recency bias. You're just shifting the recency bias over to summer instead of fall at that point. And then you're
What's the
cucking
fall
the
2023 stuff? Oh, it's free run this season. Got it.
yeah, the free run was also in 2024, so that was gonna be there anyway. Oh wait, hold up. Wait, with full list available on. Oh wait, no, fuck. Okay, I thought each of the 32 categories. We not revealed the categories yet. I'm gonna see. I thought I'm really having to dig deep here for this information for no reason. Oh, it is not. Google Chrome is not Googling today.
Oh, that also means fucking Attack on Titan final season is going to be included.
When's the last time anyone's talked about Attack on Titan? We're gonna be fine.
No Kyojin.
Oh wait, categories. Oh shit, we got all the
Oh,
categories. All right, that means
Oh my God.
soon we'll be able to what's it called? We'll be able to do our category episode, our personal categories. Oh,
nice.
there's another new one, which I really like this one. Best background
Okay.
art is also a new thing.
So the anti-Orient award.
Yes. So the new categories are best background art, best isekai, and best Hindi performance, which I'm sure we've all watched at least one Hindi dub this year, so we'll definitely be able to comment on that.
Yeah.
I guess I can go over all the categories. Obviously, anime of the year, film of the year, best continuing series, best new series, and best original anime, and we've had those forever. Same with best animation, best character design, best director, and then we got the new best background art, best romance. Actually, hey, they got rid of best art direction, I think. Let me look at the.
Interesting.
Oh, let me.
Yeah, I'm looking
I'm
at the
sure
old ones.
look up the old categories. 24.
Yeah, there is best art direction. Yeah, so
Okay, so they got rid of art direction in favor of background art, which is interesting. Best romance, best comedy, best action, the new best isekai, which it is a tragedy that's a thing. Best drama, best slice of. I guess they're kind of showing it best isekai more as like a. Oh wait, no, I just realized they got rid of best fantasy. Fuck, oh no.
Oh,
Did they get rid of best
They
fantasy?
got rid
dude,
of best
are you
that means
fantasy.
Demon Slayer
kidding
can
me?
win best isekai. Let's go.
Dude, if Demon Slayer won best isekai, that'd be so funny.
It'd be
Doesn't that just fuck Freerun?
Yeah,
Because
Freerun.
Freerun's
I mean,
not
it's
an
not gonna win.
isekai.
It's not gonna win best. It cucks like fantasy anime that aren't Demon Slayer.
Yeah.
I mean, Freerun had a good shot at best fantasy.
Freerun was going to win best fantasy. Like, there's really
That's
not
what
a
I'm saying.
contest.
But Freerun's not an isekai, so it can't win best
No.
isekai.
I mean, just like there are a lot of good fantasy anime this year too, and this is the year they
To be
decided to
fair,
switch it to best isekai.
yeah, I was gonna say, but to be fair, they have had Demon Slayer win best fantasy for several years in a row.
Alright, so basically, best isekai is going to be a scrap fight between ReZero and Mushoku Tensei, is by assumption.
No.
Yeah.
And the reason I say no is because it's never that easy. What fucking Eminence and Shadow is gonna win?
No, dude, Eminence of Shadow is
Eminence
not
and
winning.
Shadow season 2.
Eminence of Shadow is not winning. I don't know, dude. I mean, there's gonna be. I mean, I guess there's
The
gonna be a lot of
Shangri-La
heavy.
Frontier and Isekai.
I don't say it is, but I'm sure they'll count it as one. But
I don't think
know.
the
Anyway,
Shangri-La Frontier has the clout anyway.
definitely not. I mean, it'll be.
Oh wait, no, Doctor Stone. We had Doctor Stone this season.
All right, relax. Nobody's putting that as Isekai. So it'll be
It's the
like
best Isekai.
ReZero, Mushoku, Eminence, Slime, and like 2 other goobers. Anyway, where was I? Best Isekai, best drama, best slice of life, best main character, best supporting character, our favorite category, must protect at all cost character, makes its stunning return, best anime song, best score, best opening, best ending, and then all the voice artists. So, yeah, no, that's interesting. We have sacrificed best fantasy in order to introduce best isekai. I think I'm in favor of getting rid of art direction for background art because I don't think most anime fans or anime awards judges are smart enough to understand the concept of art direction. But background art should be easier, I would hope.
Yeah. Well, maybe.
I already got chosen, and I'll have to like look through background art's an interesting one because I feel like a lot of shows I don't really think about the background art unless like it really strikes me as like I don't know. I'll have to think. So the 2 shows off the top of my head would be like Weakest Tamer, ReZero, maybe like Machine or something like that. I'll have to think about it. But yeah, that'll be an interesting category. But yeah, maybe not do that next week because I gotta catch up on shit. Maybe like near end of the month, we can do the Crunchyroll category personal nominations.
Yep. That sounds good.
Yeah. But speaking of the end, that'll be the end of this episode. Oh shit, the Lions game ended. I wasn't paying attention who won. Probably the Lions.
Who do you think?
I
won?
almost said
I
Yeah,
actually
fucking
don't know.
Lions won. Son of a bitch.
I just know Josh Jacobs said fucking 3. It's tied.
No, it's over.
You're behind, bro.
You're
Am I behind? Oh, I see. Now it's updated.
Yeah.
I opened it and it was tied with 2 seconds left, and that's all I saw. I'm playing Josh Jacobs in fantasy this week, so
Good job.
when
I
was
have
saying,
Josh Jacobs.
Pretty
in
good.
fantasy, so
That's
yeah,
pretty good.
remember when I was saying things were looking dire? They've
Yeah, I don't know,
gotten
man.
worse.
Anyway, end of the episode. If you enjoyed, like, comment, subscribe, rate 5 stars, whatever platform you're listening on. You probably aren't listening on Spotify. Who knows when who knows? Maybe
Who
maybe
knows
it's-
when you're listening
who
to this on
knows?
Spotify
Maybe-
is the
Yeah, the date we are recording this is the 5th, and it will be uploaded on the 7th. If you are listening to this as it's released, and it is not the 7th, my bad. But anyway, wait, I'm getting ahead of myself here. If you are on the audio only and you'd like to never miss an episode as soon as it's uploaded, I suggest getting YouTube Premium, or just listening
Amazing.
on YouTube. Is also a thing. If you have the if you're just on a computer or something, you can always do that instead of like turning on Spotify. But anyway, it's the Order Anime Podcast. We are the only one. Same thing from YouTube to audio only. It'll be there eventually, so don't worry about that. I haven't forgotten about you. I'm just lamenting over the fact that I have to remember you.
I mean, to be fair, by the time unless they've come to the YouTube to listen to episodes, by the time they get this episode, you'll probably be caught up or in the process of catching up.
Yeah, certainly.
So
Anyway.
that means you'll have not forgotten them by then, for sure.
Yeah, anyway, it's the Order Anime Podcast, same thing on the audio only, so can't possibly miss us. Every Saturday, 3 p.m. EST, without fail, except for when we do, as in the case of the Spotify episodes these past few weeks, there will be a new episode out for you to enjoy. So once again, thank you for listening, and we hope to see you in another episode. Once again, thank you, and goodbye.